Hey guys, it's Chris and I'm back with another Mandalorian video. Episode 4 came out and just watched it, so I'm going to do my quick little reaction / review of this episode. I think they've pretty much proven that this is going to be a damn good show. Alright, so let's jump right in, but first let me say this video is brought to you by my wonderful Patreons. I really appreciate the support, you guys. You guys keep this channel going as we try to navigate through this new YouTube algorithm. Anyway, Mandalorian Episode 4, Sanctuary. I thought this was a pretty damn good episode. At first, I was a little bit worried about it. Let me give you an example. Blade is one of my favorite all-time comic book characters. I love vampire stuff, and Blade was one of my all-time favorite characters. But in the movies, when Blade started to talk too much, it almost got like it took away from his mystique a little bit, because Blade was known for kind of just keeping his mouth shut and just being a badass, and that's what added to the character. So when you kind of got into, you know, the second and third movie, for example, he just started talking a little too much smiling, all that kind of stuff. And they were still okay, but that's kind of what took away just a little bit from Blade, and I was kind of worried about this one because he does a lot more talking in this one. But it actually adds to the character, I think, in this case, for the most part. So we come across the little village there on a planet much like Earth. And I want to say really quickly, it was a cool-looking little village. Just regular people kind of fishing for these weird little bluefish or whatever. And it reminds me of the video I just did on comparing Star Wars and Game of Thrones, really fantasy versus sci-fi, and doing some comparisons in the Star Wars universe versus the Game of Thrones universe, A Song of Ice and Fire, whatever. You know, it's more grounded in reality, based on reality, as far as the dressing, the furniture in the room, as I keep mentioning. And this reminds you of that. If you would have taken the Mandalorian out of it as far as just changing his outfit, this would have been like a regular old Western where, you know, you had some rival gang coming in to attack this village or whatever. So you can have great stories and really dig this show and not be a huge Star Wars nerd. Anyway, little baby Yoda is adorable as ever. He's following him around now. He really is kind of like his child. He's kind of his adopted child now, and I'm really, really digging that. It's really kind of a weird pairing, but it works. You know what I mean? It kind of works. And it starts to get into it a little bit, what we spoke about last episode, where he's got to kind of figure out what to do with baby Yoda. Like, they really didn't cover the Force-sensitive thing this time, but he knows that he's in danger or whatever. There's something special about him. And then, of course, he decides he'll just leave him here because he really gets along with all these kids in this little village, just a small village in a relatively unknown planet where the remnants of the Empire or other people can't really get to him. But that kind of changes in the end, as we suspected. So, as it turns out, he's going to be sticking around for a little while. So, a lot longer, Baby Yoda we will see. When he first walks into town in the village, we see him run into Gina Carano's character. I believe that's her name. She's a badass, obviously. They have a little bit of a scuffle, just a little one. Turns out she's an ex-shock trooper from the Republic, so she's a badass. She's been through the war. She understands the situation in the galaxy. But again, it wasn't brought up about Baby Yoda being Force-sensitive or anything, so I don't know if she's aware of that aspect. So I don't know how much we're going to see her throughout this first season. I don't know if she's going to be a recurring character. Very similar to Nick Nolte's character, who is now kind of left on this other planet, and we'll see if he travels back to that planet, but I don't know. She was really a badass for this episode. So essentially the idea was that they came across this little village. They were described as krill farmers, and I guess that's the little blue fish, the krill maybe. I don't really know. I'm not really 100% sure. But they agreed to help then fight off these band of raiders that come in. And you thought it was like the Empire because there was an AT-ST on the planet. But it wasn't the Empire. It was just probably somebody who got a hold of an old AT-ST and learned how to use it or whatever. So they were just kind of wreaking havoc across these small fishing villages. It really gave you a little bit more insight into the Mandalorian because it reminded him of his own childhood. He saw the kids running around. It reminded him of himself, I believe, because he obviously had lived in some type of village or whatever, and it got destroyed by the Empire. So he felt for these people, and therefore he took the job for very little, if no money, just a place to stay pretty much. And I thought he had a love interest for a minute, and I think he had some definite feelings there, and she was about to take the helmet off, and he didn't let her. And that's the scene I believe we saw from the trailer that I mentioned before in the live stream last Sunday, that I thought, you know, this girl, this love interest would take his helmet off and he would let her. But turns out it's just not his style. He's got to keep going. He knows now that Baby Yoda is going to be continually in danger because these other bounty hunters are still after him. Obviously, he's a highly sought after prize. So that's going to kind of keep driving the narrative forward. One scene I dug in the village is she asked him about the helmet. You know, everybody knows Mandalorians can't take their helmet off. This is how much they're known throughout the galaxy as far as being legendary figures or whatever. And she asked him how long it's been since someone took it off when he wasn't alone or whatever. So that does confirm they do take it off when they eat and shower and shit and all that stuff. And he says, I wasn't much older than them, talking about the kids outside playing. I thought that was really cool. Again, kind of tying in, referencing his own story, his own backstory we'll learn more about. Indeed, he was a foundling, as we thought from the previous episodes. He kind of confirms that the Mandalorians took him in and took care of him after his family was killed, his parents. So we'll find out more details on that. But I really dug the scene where it didn't show him, but he was just watching the kids play outside, and he took his helmet off to eat because she had brought him some food. So that was really cool to show that scene where he voluntarily takes it off alone, watching the kids outside playing as he's about to eat his krill fish pasta casserole. I was also really curious about the girl, the main girl in the village, who was the kind of a love interest, or at least a like interest, so to speak. She could actually shoot as compared to the other people who had never even held a stick or gun or anything like that in the Star Wars universe. But I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm really curious about who she is and why she's able to shoot. So I don't know if we'll see her again. I got a feeling we may, at some point, because he could always go back there and just retire at some point. That may be the end game for him. I don't know yet. Just throwing it out there as an idea, because I don't know if they're going to have all these characters, just show up for one episode and you never see them again. But anyway, the plan worked, so it ended up being okay. And then that's when he was just going to leave Baby Yoda there. And then, of course, the bounty hunter at the end. Oh my God, I about had a heart attack when he had the rifle aimed at Baby Yoda, and then you heard the shot. I was like, it seems like they got to get rid of Baby Yoda somehow, because we never see him in The Force Awakens, in the sequel trilogy, at least so far. Maybe that's a thing that's going to happen in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. But I damn near shit my pants. I thought he was actually going to get killed, and they just wasn't going to show it or something like that, and I would have been heartbroken. So anyway, it ended up being that Gina Carano's character was on to the bounty hunter, shot him instead, and that's the shot you heard. So I'm so glad that didn't happen. And of course, they got to keep Baby Yoda around for quite a while for all this merchandise. But anyway, I thought this was a pretty damn good episode. This show, it's really, really good. It's getting better and better. And again, you don't have to be a huge Star Wars nerd to enjoy this type of Western in space type soap opera. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. How did you dig the Mandalorian episode 4 Sanctuary? Oh, and really quickly, in my last Twitch stream, which we are streaming Jedi The Fallen Order, I think we'll finish that tonight, actually. So I should be getting this video out before then. People have been asking about the shirt. I did create this shirt. It is on the Teespring store. There will be a link in the description below, and probably a pinned comment or something like that, if you're interested in the I Have Spoken t-shirt. Also has the SmokeScreen logo on the back there, but I can't really turn around to show you. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And as usual, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And also be sure to subscribe to get everything, and click that notification bell twice so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.